Hi, welcome to this Mathcast. The intended audience is grade 4. The learning objective is to recognize lines of symmetry for given two-dimensional figures and to identify line-symmetric figures and draw lines of symmetry. Created by Susie Q. Irk. First, we should start with some vocabulary. Our first word is symmetry, and that is when one shape is exactly like the other shape, even when it's moved, rotated, or flipped. Our second word is line of symmetry. Now, this represents the line that can be drawn through an object such that the two halves are mirror images of each other. Now, I added a picture above to show where the line of symmetry is splitting this object into two halves that are mirror images of each other. Our first problem is asking us to circle the figures that have a correct line of symmetry drawn. So, looking at figure A, we can see that the line of symmetry is drawn right here. Now, if we draw a line down our first figure, where the line of symmetry is, we can see that this object and this object are mirrors of each other. So this one would have the correct line of symmetry drawn. Moving on to B, the line of symmetry drawn is right here. We can see that this triangle is not the same shape as this object down below. This object is not a triangle, and we can tell that this object is a triangle. So B does not have the correct line of symmetry drawn. So we can put an X through B. Moving on to C, we see the line of symmetry is drawn right here. Now it's a heart, so if we were to split this heart in half, we know that this side is a mirror image of this side. So we would say that C does have the correct line of symmetry drawn. Now, last but not least, we have D. And D is a pretty funny shape, and it has a line of symmetry drawn right here. Now, if we were to take this line of symmetry and say flip this half of the object over it, it would not map up to this object. So D does not have the correct line of symmetry drawn. Our next problem is asking us, half of each figure below has been drawn. Use the line of symmetry represented by the dashed line to complete each figure. So this dashed line is representing our line of symmetry. So to do problem A, what we're going to do is we see that the shape goes over 1, 2, 3 blocks. So we're going to grab our pen and we're going to go 1, 2, 3 blocks over. Now, if we look down at the bottom, it also goes 1, 2, 3 blocks over on the bottom. So we're going to draw our line representing 3 blocks. Now we're going to look here and see that it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks down. So we're going to draw our 6 lines in. And now we have a mirror image of our first image drawn right here. So it shows the full image, and now it's being broken up by its line of symmetry. Now, if we move on to B, we need this object to be exactly represented on this side of the line of symmetry as well. So what we're going to do is we see that there are 4 blocks up on this line. So we're going to draw 4 blocks down from our line of symmetry. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we see that there's 3 blocks going across. So we're going to draw 3 blocks going across. We know there's going to be 2 blocks coming up. It's going down on this side, but since we're going from this side, we're going to come up. So we're going to go 2 blocks up. And then we see it goes 1, 2, 3 blocks over. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then it goes 1 block up. We're going to go 1 block down. And 1 block over. And 3 blocks up. So now we just mirrored this image over here, and we pretty much reflected it across our line of symmetry. For our last problem, we're going to find and draw all the lines of symmetry for the following figures. Then we're going to write the number of lines of symmetry that we found in the blank space below. For our first figure, a line of symmetry that we could draw, if we were to draw a line across the object right here, would we agree that both objects are now mirror images of each other? Even if they were split apart and they were two separate objects, they would be mirror images of each other, just one would be upside down. So that's one line of symmetry. Another line of symmetry would be if we were to draw a line going this way. Do we agree that this side and this side, if they were split apart as two separate objects, they would be the same object, just reflected? So we have two lines of symmetry for our first object. Now looking at our next object, we could draw a line down the center right here. Now this object and this object would be mirror images of each other if they were split apart. Now I don't think we can draw another line of symmetry. What if we were to draw a line like this? Well, that would not work because this figure down here makes a shape like a half circle, while up here would look like this. And those two objects are not mirror images of each other. So for figure H, we would only have one line of symmetry. Thank you for watching my MathCast. My MathCast resources were Engage New York and my math textbook.